Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Happy as always to have you here. We're back again with yet another Sims 2 speed build. I feel like I've been doing these a lot lately, but I'm having fun with it. So today we are actually building a vacation home, which is something that I don't think I've done in The Sims 2 for, God, it must be years. I can't even remember the last time I've actually built one, especially from scratch like this. So I went into Carol Summers' home. If you haven't been watching my Summerville Let's Play, I'll just quickly talk about that for a second and then we'll move on to talk about the build. But it is a custom neighbourhood that I have been doing a Let's Play of on this channel. And we're having a lot of fun with it. You're always welcome to drop by, say hi. We have so much fun over there, so much crazy events going on. But Carol, the mayor, he rolled the want to buy a vacation home, which is not a want that I see all that often, and so it kind of excited me. I think I went into his house because his wife, who he's going to be divorcing soon, Elizabeth, I think he had to send her some money. So when I went over to his lot, I noticed that he had that want, and I thought, absolutely yes. But the problem is I really don't like the Bon Voyage lots, like the unoccupied residential lots there very much. I just don't think they're very practical. So my first thought was, okay, I'll have him buy like a little beachy shack in Tweaky Island. And then I thought, oh, we kind of did Tweaky Island. You know, we sent the Cupcake family there. And for me, I kind of pictured Carol maybe buying like a little cabin in the woods. So this right here is called Pinecone Chalet, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what I ended up naming it. And it was my, oh my gosh, I think this was like my 6th or 7th attempt. I got home from work the other day and I had a very clear idea in my head of how I wanted to build it. And I looked up like different pictures and stuff for inspiration, like literally from all of the Sims games, just trying to see how I wanted to approach this build. And I just couldn't pull it off. Every time I tried to build it, it just wasn't how I pictured it in my head. And I just really didn't like it. So I went over it, and eventually I just went to bed. Like I wasn't feeling great. I had to lie down. And then it was like 9 o'clock at night. And I thought, I think I can do it now. I think like that sort of creativity has come back. And that's when I finally sat down and actually got it done. This here took me about, I can see there, 100 minutes. So that's like an hour and 40 minutes. I did end up cutting certain sections out, like fiddling around with the stairs, because I have like recolorable versions of them. And it took me ages to figure out how I wanted to do the stairs, like what color I wanted to be. And in the end, I just go for like these really simple brown Maxis ones. So this here is I'm pretty sure I did a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. It is pretty small. It is built on a custom lot. I found it on Mod The Sims. I think it's called like 1x1 residential lots. This one's actually like 2x1, I think, but still very, very small. Now, Carol went from living in a house with his 2 twins, William and Victoria, and his wife, Elizabeth, to now just being like a single dad by himself, like a divorced dad with no kids at home. So it's kind of sad. And so I had this idea that he was going to have like an eat, pray, love kind of moment. Now, I haven't seen the film, I haven't read the book, but I'm assuming it's sort of like a spiritual journey that the character goes on. So that's what I wanted for Carol. Like, okay, this divorce is going to come through and now, you know, his kids have flown the nest and he doesn't really know what to do with himself. So he decides on an impulse to buy a vacation home up in the mountains, and he's going to spend Christmas here, and hopefully we can have him meet Bigfoot. Now those episodes, they'll be coming pretty soon actually. I think I have one more episode of like the college rotation to play, and then we will be beginning round 3, and Carol is the first sim that we're going to be playing. So what I'm probably going to do with him is immediately send him here. Either that or I'll play him for 1 day and then send him here for 3, because I play 4-day rotations. A couple of things I didn't like about the build is like this section back here. It's just sort of floating there. Like I couldn't get pillars in there. They were either too short or too tall. So I'm not a big fan of that. There were a couple of like little things that kind of nagged me about the build that I wasn't like hugely a big fan of. But overall, I do think it's turned out okay. Like now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, oh, you know, I kind of wish that I was able to get like a little like conservatory in here, but it was just too small. So instead, that space, the empty space on the right, I turned into like a little outdoor garden. I downloaded this like lovely, I believe it's a 3-to-2 conversion of like a fire pit. So I picture him sitting there, maybe he'll meet some friends on vacation, they'll come over, hang, have a barbecue, listen to music, and just chill out and have a good time. He deserves it, you know, he's a very nice sim. This is another thing I really struggled with as well, was the roof. So I don't typically do roofs like this where, I don't know if you can sort of see there, but the structure is sort of on like a bit of an angle, like it's on a tilt, it's not like a perfect square, which is really unusual for me. So I really was fiddling around with the roof, and I just, in the end, I sort of threw my hands up and just went, whatever, as if you spent any time looking at the roof anyway. And it turned out okay. But I ended up starting off with the kitchen, which has always been my favourite room in any house to decorate. I always have so much fun building kitchens in The Sims 2. More than any other room, I think. I also like bedrooms. Not a big fan of bathrooms just because it's kind of boring. Living rooms, I could take it or leave it. But kitchens, I absolutely love. So I kind of did this thing where his his bedroom didn't take up like the entire floor. It was only half. So that way he can kind of like look over the railing and look down at the kitchen, and it kind of has like this high ceiling. And I'm quite impressed with how that turned out. I did have a budget in mind as well. I was aiming for like 15,000 simoleons maximum. A lot of the ones that already came in the Bon Voyage, like worlds and stuff, are very expensive. One of them was like 40,000. And I thought, no, I don't want to have to pay that. But in the end, this ended up being like 10,000 simoleons over budget anyway. Yeah, so this is what I did with the kitchen. I kind of wanted to keep it like clean looking. I wasn't aiming for like super rustic, at least not on the interior. So I've gone for like a lot of whites, a lot of beiges and like light browns, as opposed to making it look really rustic. I wanted it to have like kind of a modern feel about it as well. Oh, this absolutely killed me. I was trying to find like island counter versions of this like custom counter that I've got, and I couldn't find any, so I have to go and hunt them down. So instead, I ended up just placing 2 normal counters there and then using like a small dining table for like the corner of the room. But I had a lot of fun decorating this. Like I spent like a solid 30 minutes, I think, just like choosing my counter and cluttering it up. I must have spent an absolute fortune just buying things like spices and pots and pans. But you know, that's Carol. He has a ton of money. He has something like 50,000 simoleons. And that's after he has given his soon-to-be ex-wife a good chunk of change. So yeah, the only room in the house that I'm not particularly fond of is like the living room space. It's such an awkward shape. And by the time I got to it, I completely forgot that one of my main intentions for making this was that it was going to be like Carol's like Christmas vacation home. So I wanted it to be decorated with like a lot of like Christmas decor and things, and I completely forgot. So it's not really a running theme throughout the house at all, but I did manage to squeeze a Christmas tree in at the end. But the room itself is kind of boring. Like it's a Christmas tree, a rug and a sofa, and that's about it. I didn't want to include like a TV because, you know, he's going to be off in the mountains and hiking and meeting the locals and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. I didn't want it to be like he sat down, he's on the computer. Like that's, you know, no, you don't go to Three Lakes to be engaging with like the modern world. You go to sort of escape. So that was my thinking anyway. Yeah, I downloaded a bunch of new like kitchen clutter. Like this one here, the canisters and stuff. I found that on Tumblr. But I'm really happy right now with how like my downloads folder and stuff is looking. For a long time I ended up just having basic recolors, and now I'm trying to build up my CC folder a little bit more. I think it goes back to when I always had laptops and they just couldn't handle like a lot of custom content. So I would stick to things like simple recolors, but now I kind of feel like, okay, I can have whatever I want in my game. Like nothing's stopping me. So I take a little bit of a break from the downstairs. I was gonna do the living room here, and I think I just sort of went, nah, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with this right now. So I put a desk in here and I changed my mind, and instead I head upstairs to do the bedroom. I did put a double bed in there. I know, you know, Carol's just gonna be coming here by himself, but I did have an idea that maybe he could invite his new lady friend, Helen Chase, who is another recently divorced sim in the neighborhood. Gosh, I just realised we have had, I think, 3 divorces, and we've only played 2 rounds. That is crazy. That's a lot of divorces. Summerville is a crazy neighbourhood, I will leave a link to it in the description box if you're interested in checking it out for yourself. It is by far the best custom neighborhood I have ever played by a mile. It is so much fun. It's by a creator called Dina Goth, and even though it's not like, it's not a supernatural neighborhood, it doesn't have these like crazy, fantastical sort of storylines. It's a bit more baked in reality than that. I find that there is so much drama and chaos that has happened just organically. And it's just been a lot of fun. I've had an absolute blast playing it so far. But I am starting to feel the burnout. I was sat downstairs this morning. When I'm recording this, it's a Sunday, so I was sat downstairs watching Coffee House Crime, having my iced coffee, and the thought of like playing the game kind of filled me with dread, and I absolutely hate that. Like, I always want to be interested in The Sims 2, but sometimes I burn myself out, whether I like it or not. So that kind of sucked, and I thought, okay, maybe I'm just going to go play Monkey Island 2 today, and then I'll go play some other games, and then I'll come back to the channel in like, a month's time. Not that like, by the time I'm recording this, like, okay, I'll tell you, this is a little embarrassing, but it is the 21st of September today, and by the time you see this, I have it going up, I think on the 15th of November, so I have like a calendar where I have like, okay, these are the days I'm going to be releasing videos on. And that really helps me, so I do them every 5 days. I have been on a massive Sims 2 kick lately. I have been recording as much as I possibly can. Like any day off, after work I record as much as I can, just whenever I can find the free time. So have a really good selection of videos going up. So as long as the burnout ends by like the beginning of November, you will have no idea that I was burnt out and that I had left the channel. So that's kind of what I do. And it suits me just fine, I couldn't imagine just like making this video and then posting it today and then having to worry, okay, I have to start working on my next video for next week. I like to have a bit of a backlog. It just means that if for whatever reason I am not active in the community for, because I'm burnt out or I'm away or something, that then I still have videos that are going up. It's sort of like me versus burnout, and I am determined not to let it win. And so far it has, and I haven't had a break from this channel since last December, where I have had actual gaps in uploading. Yeah, so I really enjoyed building this. It's super sort of simple. I didn't do anything particularly impressive with it, but I am quite happy with how it turned out. Originally, because I was having so much problems trying to actually build something that I liked, I was having a lot of difficulty, that I wanted to get one that was like CC free, just download it, I gut it, and then furnish it how I wanted to. So I found this like lovely set. It's on my Pinterest, which I will also leave in the description box. It's all clean and organized now. And I found like this lovely set of different community lots and residential lots. But the problem was they were either massive or they were really expensive, and just nothing I could find suited what I was going for, if that makes sense. So I thought, I'm just going to have to build one from scratch. Like, I just have to do it. And as much of a challenge it was just to get started on the build, once I got going, it all came together pretty nicely, I think. So this is where I start middling around with the garden space. It's pretty small. Didn't really do a whole lot with it. There's the 3-to-2 fire pit and the 3-to-2 barbecue there. And I just kind of put some flowers and shrubs and things in there. Not a whole lot, to be honest. One original idea that I had was to get like a mini swimming pool, but then I thought, what's the point? There's lots of community lots in Three Lakes that have swimming pools, I'm pretty sure. So what a waste of time. If he wants to go for a swim, I can send him down to a community lot. I probably should have cut this bit out now that I'm looking at it. I really wanted to use this lovely terrain paint, which I think either came from The Sims 3 or 4. I think Sims 3. I'm sure I downloaded it in my last CC shopping video. But yeah, I really wanted to use this. So in the end, I just kind of did like this little path here. And that was about it, really. Just did some final like decorating and just sort of cluttered it up a little bit. But yeah, I definitely think I want to send Helen here as well. It'd be nice company for Carol. I'm just desperately trying to set them up together because Helen has been so wronged. She was romantically involved with this guy called Alex, who is a criminal. She herself is a member of the police force. He cheated on her. She forgave him. It wasn't anything super serious. I think he like kissed another woman's arm, like did the up arm kiss interaction. She forgave him, they got married, and then he slept with the same woman at his brother's birthday party, which is pretty sick. And Helen is a lovely sim and she doesn't deserve it. And that's when I found out that she and the mayor have 3 boats together. So hopefully she will be able to accompany Carol on like this little mountain excursion and they can have fun together. But we'll see, I haven't really decided on anything just yet. Yeah, so at this point I realised, oh no, I was supposed to be doing like a Christmas theme build and I completely forgot. What I could have done as well, it did cross my mind, last year I built a Christmas grotto, which you can find on Mod The Sims if you're interested, which I'll also leave a link to in the description box. Why not? Just giving myself more work there for no reason. But it was a bit too Christmassy. It was like Christmas had thrown up all over the lot, and I thought it's a bit too much for Carol. So I just put a Christmas tree in there and some like wall hangings and pretty much called it a day. So guys, I do have to say we are nearing the end of the video. We've only got about a minute left. What I'll do is include some screenshots right at the very end just so you can get a better look at the build if you're interested. Now if you have enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it a like, maybe commenting, let me know what you think. Did I nail it? Is it an absolute disaster? Because I would like to know either way. I would love to know your true thoughts there. But until the next one, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Take care and happy simming.